process of trying to build the team, because
Right.
when you start building a team, you start looking at how people start getting funny about money.
Right. That
And
money thing.
when you get the money aspect in it,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
people lose their mind. They
Right.
have great intentions from the beginning, but then
Yeah.
they lose their mind.
Right. Right. I just busted out. What up, y'all? Good morning. Welcome to the Brothers of Legacy. That money thing, that's broken up a lot of R&B groups. You know, like they were dope until that money really started
Man,
rolling in. Like
I don't know any people's business, but when I think about dope R&B groups
yes.
they're not together anymore,
Right.
that
Right.
almost didn't come back together, like New
Right.
Edition,
Doing this shit right. Right.
the SWVs of the world and
Right.
everything else. I mean, there's some groups that I
Yeah.
wish would have stuck it out,
Right.
would have been able to work through it,
Right.
but
Right. I
I don't
think
know.
I think the
I
great
don't
the
know if it's
best.
money or personalities, but
Right.
whatever
Oh,
it
that
was,
too. That too. But,
bring it back together,
right.
please.
Bring them back. Peaches and Herb, bring them back. So like I think my New Edition, I think they did pretty well, like breaking off, because usually, you may get one solo act. You got the Bobby Brown, and then everybody else kind of dies. But everybody kind of flourished, breaking off and then coming back together. So shout out to New Edition for inventing, reinventing, then reinventing again. Even dealing with Puffy.
Right.
that is Puffy. Man, it's like the older I get, the more I hear about this dude. Like, wow, you was a monster. Like you were just
Yeah.
not getting the folk. But welcome everybody again. Welcome to the Brothers of Legacy. Make sure you share. Sharing is caring. It's gonna probably be just me and Thomas today. I want to talk about team building, some of the aspects, some of the things, good, bad, and ugly. Because online, I'm connected to a lot of people that have like businesses, big and small, and some of the posts are like, "Man, I wish I could build a team around what I'm doing." And it's this, I'll say, a gentleman, Michael McNair, Elder McNair, that I know. He said it. I'm giving him the quote. I don't know where it came from, but he was like, "Are you building? Are you creating a vision or an idea? Is it just an idea or is it really a vision?" Um, and I think
I talk about that all the time. But go
okay,
ahead. I'm gonna come back.
okay, yeah. And I think sometimes once you're team building, you're trying to build people around an idea, or is it actually something that's in the process of working that you're building? Um, and that's one aspect. And then it's like I think about, right. So, and we're gonna get into, you have a lot of experience in this area, so I just want to just mention some things first. And I was thinking about the team building. Like, are you looking for employees, or are you looking for volunteers, or are you looking for people that you're going to share equity? Because you talk about that money, like it's all good. Splitting $100 is easy. Like, all right, boom, you get 50, I get 50. But when you get to 100,000, it's like, well, I've been in the office working. What you been doing,
Right.
right?
Right.
Even though my 3 phone calls have gotten more done. So it's like balancing. Man, I've been paying for this, and I've been, and like you said, when money really comes in the picture, when that life changing money comes in the picture, we kind of, it changes things, as much as. And then honestly, can we keep it real? Sometimes it's not the person, it's the people around the person. That's
That can be it too. Influence.
influence, right? Like,
Right.
how much you get, man?
Well,
You
if you get
always in this
yours, I know
office,
I'm gonna get mine too.
right? Right. You always in this office, man. You should
Yeah.
be getting a lot more than that. Like, think about it. You're just like,
The one thing that I believe in when it comes to that, like I'm
yeah,
always in the office, and what did you agree upon?
right.
And
And we get to
I
that
learned
thing.
this a long time ago. If it wasn't written, it wasn't said. So
Mm,
you
okay.
can't just trust that people are going to do right, especially when they've never experienced what they're about to experience. When your success is not their success, but they
Right.
want to claim to success because if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't even be,
You
you
would
know.
be
But but the reality is, you know, when it comes to building a team and working with someone, or if you're going to partner with someone in business, you got to have, you know, things written. It's business. It's not personal, you know, and you got to want to see each other grow. You don't want to, you know, I don't put anyone around me now that I don't want to see grow. And if they don't have the same mindset, then I'd rather pass on a great opportunity than find myself down the line investing a lot of time, effort, equity, and everything else into something, and now I have to fight back for something that I've already done. You know, a lot of times people we just jump into stuff because it's a great idea. Kind of going back to what you were saying. You know, there's a lot of things like people consider goals, ideas, goals, and they're not. There's a big difference. We come up with ideas every single day. We have, I bet you right now, someone's thinking of a master plan. You know, it's like, I got this master plan and I'm about to blow up, you know, but what's your first step? I have no clue. And that's an idea. You know, you have an idea. You don't have a true goal. You don't have a vision. You don't have anything. You have an idea that you think is a master plan to make some money. Or to get you into that next level. But getting to that next level is not as simple as just showing up. Because we know what we want to do. We know why we want to do. We just don't understand the how. And that's where coaching, like my coaching, I'm not shameless plug, but
it's all good. It's all good.
And when you start to think about the coaching that you can put into to your vision, and that vision allows you to now, okay, put teeth to it. What are your milestones? What are the ways that you're going to engage your process? What are your limitations on what you're going to do? You know, you got to do a lot of these, and they, you know, the SWOT analysis and all that. That's great, but right now we're just talking about personally, like how do you feel as an individual, and then what's your why? Why are you doing this? You know. And so that starts you off in the process. Now, when you start to add other people to that process, when you're starting to build your team, there's many different angles that start to be introduced to your vision. And so it's interesting on how you walk through that process. And so
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Because that having a structure to fit your team into, you know, having an understanding of what you're building, like you said, your why, and why you start. Let me just say some good mornings. Good morning, Mama Corey. Great morning, Lisa. Thank you for being there. Larry Banks in the building. Good morning, sir. Jeff, you said, man, I'm late. It's all good, Jeff. It's all good. I'll give you a hall pass. Good morning. Thank you guys for being here. Thomas is a smart dude. Yeah. You know, yeah. He got what you say, he got that little stuff going on.
You know, it's funny. I tell people all the time, I know a lot of stuff about stuff. I don't know why I know stuff about the stuff that I know about. I just know some stuff.
I just know some stuff. I'll be knowing some stuff. Oh, right. So again, good morning. Welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. We're discussing building a team. Now, you know, everybody knows if you watch this show 2 or 3 times, I don't do sports like that. So I know the Lakers are playing. Are we still in the finals? Are we? It's not over yet. It's not over because I haven't seen nobody celebrate. I haven't seen any posts or anything like that. But
Lakers lost last night.
Okay,
we're still up 3-2 on the Warriors. Okay. Take you home tomorrow night. On Friday night, we're gonna go ahead and punch our ticket to the Western Conference Finals. I'm going ahead and say that out loud. I normally don't do this because I'm more superstitious on the other side. Stay humble, you know.
Right.
But I have to say this out loud because if we don't go, we ain't going. So because then we have to go back to San Francisco and try to beat Golden State on their floor on a game 7. Kind of tough. You know, you ain't gonna just champs ain't gonna lay down. So you got to beat them down. So let's go to LA, give them a Southern California beat down, and become Kings of Cali this year, you know, and be done. You know, I hate to say this. Okay, I know we're digressing a little bit.
No, you're good. You're good.
I wish people who claim to be kings of LA would hold up to their part of the bargain. You know, we got all these hyper Clipper fans out there now because, you know, they had a few teams over the last decade, right? They ain't did nothing. And Clipper fans act like they champions because, you know, but they ain't never showed up at the times where the Lakers and the Clippers could finally show up in 2020. They didn't show up. Here it is, 2023. They got knocked out the first round. And it's like, you know, you're not living up to the hype. So let's just go ahead and you know, the Lakers win tomorrow. You know, just go ahead and acknowledge. Yeah, I jumped off the bandwagon because I'm a Laker hater versus, you know, I really don't like these other teams. I just hate the Lakers. That's all.
Right. 100%.
Yeah. So been dealing with that all my life. But yeah.
All my life I had to fight.
All my life. So anyways.
No doubt. All right.
Larry Banks hit it on nail.
Oh, he said like Lakers in 6 or Warriors in 7. He said, I said it from the beginning.
Larry,
gotta say it on here though.
I'm with you on that.
You gotta say it here.
I'm with you. I believe if it gets to a game 7,
right?
You know, it's even last night you can see that the Warriors are able to throw some blows at home, but on the road they're wimpy. You know, they're Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of thing. So,
and you said they're playing tonight, right?
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow. Yep. I'm ready. I'm already ready. I ain't going to sleep until that game's over. It ain't that serious.
It ain't that serious. Yeah, I know some diehard folks, boy. I've known folks that just have the worst mood when their team has lost. Yeah, so
yeah, it's usually Atlanta Falcon fans.
See there. Ain't no need for the snaps. All right. So what that mean? Lakers and Clippers and
Clippers ain't gonna make it. I mean, they ain't never gonna hold their side of the bargain up. They got this multi-billion-dollar stadium coming in Inglewood. It's supposed to be really nice. They're gonna revitalize that part of the city, along where it's over there by where the Rams play and the Chargers play. But Clippers ain't never gonna do nothing. They're always gonna be B team.
Yeah. So Jeff,
I said it. All you Clippers fans, I said it.
He said it. So Jeff, I'm guessing. I know. So it's tournament. They play. What is it like? How many games? Like 5, right? Is it?
So they have. It's multiple rounds. So they have a play-in. So they do a play-in tournament, and that game doesn't even count toward any stats, no anything. It's like a ghost game, but it gets you into the playoffs.
Right.
And so, you know, you go through your first round of playoffs, and you know, there's best of 7. So first one to 4. And then you have your semi, you got your first round playoffs, you got your second round of playoffs, and then you have your conference finals, Eastern and Western conference finals. And the winners of the Eastern finals and the winner of the Western finals meet up in the championship starting June 1st. And they go for the championship.
Right. That's the 7.
And if you don't know, Lakers and Boston Celtics own the most championships in the NBA. They're tied for the most championships. So it would be really nice. I would love if the Boston Celtics can handle business on their side and the Lakers can handle business on our side. And let's go break that tie. That'd be beautiful. Like that's perfect. Like I don't, you know, I know Boston's probably the harder team to beat.
Right.
But you want the harder teams. You want to beat the best. And if you lose to the best, tip your hat, you know?
Right.
But the thing is, let's go. But I would love if Boston could hold their side of this up too, so they can come and be Lakers versus Celtics again.
Right.
Ooh, that'd be beautiful.
Awesome. All right. Back to team building. Yeah. I mean, and this is about team building, you know, because we got different teams. But
this is the thing. Lakers switched up their team.
Okay.
And this is kind of a good kind of scenario around team building. Lakers were 2-10 to start the season off. Okay. They were 13th place at the beginning of this year. Wow. They weren't even in the playoff scene. They made a move. They got a guy from Washington, brought him onto the team. and then they traded away a couple players. So the couple players that they traded away, Russell Westbrook, Patrick Beverly, they were kind of more rah-rah than anything else, right? Traded them away, got some solid role players. And from there, the team has been the number one defense in the Western Conference since the trade deadline. Wow. So the trade that they made is a great way of looking at team building. You got a guy who is an MVP, former MVP, has the most triple doubles in the history of the NBA. He's on your team, but he doesn't fit. Right. He's a Hall of Famer. He was named one of the top 75 players in the NBA, and you have this guy on your team, along with a guy who's supposed to be, you know, really like grimy and right. into defense and a good role player, but right. they're disruptive. They're so disruptive on the team that the team doesn't have no cohesiveness, no chemistry, no anything. And so when you start thinking about how these two players only, to me, in my opinion, were disruptive, because now you want to be the alpha, but you're not alpha. You're not the alpha on this team. Right. You got to know your role. Know your role. Play your role. And if you do that, then the team, you know, gels together. But if you want to be alpha and you're upset because you're not getting that acknowledgement as an alpha, it can throw chemistry off. You have little micro attitudes, little, you know, burst of micro attitudes around, and you know, the way you interact, your body language, that kills culture. Right. And so one of the things about building teams is you got to build culture also. You can't just build a team around an idea. You can't build a team around this person has these degrees and all these other things. If you can't create culture within what you're doing, then everybody who becomes a part of that process doesn't know how to fit in, because there's no culture around what you're doing.
Okay, so I need you to pause right there, and forgive me. I hope you guys could tune in. I got you. What break down culture? Because I've heard that term before, and I kind of understand. Like I can kind of see it in ministry, right? There's just like a certain culture, like boom, this will
the vibe, right?
And it's like and it's and that's about all there. It's like it's a vibe. Like you just this is my people.
Right. So as I said earlier, like I want to see everybody elevate. I don't know if I said this, you and I just talking before the show or on the show, but my hope in everything we do is to elevate. So through our nonprofit, we work with people, and the people we work with, we want to see your life changed and transformed. I want to see you be the best you can ever be. Matter of fact, part of my mission statement is to make sure that you can be better than I ever could be. Like I'm at the point right now where, I've been this way since day one. Here's a part of, I'm explaining culture, but I'm just giving you an idea.
No, I got you.
We serve this population right here. But why would I serve this population in that way and not serve the staff and the contractors and everybody else who works with me in the same way? I want to see your vision come to light too. Anybody that works with me, that has worked with me as a contractor, employee, or whatever, it's important that I feel like I'm going to lose you one day, because your vision gets so big and we've supported you so much that you have to go. Right. But if you go, the work and everything and all the everything that's been sown into you is going to be useful for thousands of other people. Right. So the culture of development is not only in developing the people, because we this is our mission, to serve this group of people. No, the mission is to serve people. Everybody has a challenge. So the culture within is everybody should want to be the best they can be, and we should make room within our, this culture that we're always lifting, always uplifting, always building. And that goes from staff to the people we serve. So everybody knows what it looks like. So everybody can feel what that looks like. And it's important that as we grow, every individual within the company grows.
Right.
I tell people this all the time. I will teach you how to take my job,
Mm.
and I will let you have my job once you're better than me. I will
Absolutely.
teach you to do that because it'll never hurt me if I do that. Why? Because
That's
as a
very
leader,
important.
if I could lead you into taking my job, that
Right.
just makes me a better leader.
Right.
Why
Right.
I don't ever have to feel
Right.
threatened. Why
Right.
should I? And so there's no competition, there's only commission. And so I heard that from a chaplain one day. No competition, only commission. And that's what we're on. We're on a commission. So when we start thinking about culture, your culture has to be one where everybody can see the vision, wrap their efforts and everything else around that vision. So I'll simplify it this way. When I'm in class and I'm talking culture, because people, we try to go get jobs in different places. And one of the ways of being able to find a job that you love is being a good cultural fit. And being a good cultural fit doesn't mean, I'm from Southern California, you're from Southern California, we know each other, cousin,
Right.
it's not
Right.
that way.
Cousin.
It is when you all can see a vision together, when
Right.
you all can put your efforts in something and feel like you're connected as a team.
Right.
And that's one of the things I love about connections. My last job I had, I left about 10 years ago almost. And I hated to leave that job. It was a great job. We were a small team of people serving 1,500 employees. It was through technology. We're a technology team. And and the 12 to 15 of us, just to given any time, there's roughly 12 to 15 of us, did a great job of serving 1,500 people at a high level.
Right.
And the reason why is because we had a great culture. We had everybody's back. We wanted to see everybody do well. We didn't want anyone to fail. And
Right.
so I think that's one thing, I can teach on culture for an hour.
I got
But I just want to say, like,
you.
when you kind of get the idea of culture, it's people who fit the same vision. And when you start to see the vision, the vision has to be plain, first of all.
Right.
But sometimes
Right.
making the vision plain, you first have people around you that's able to create culture. So the board I have right now for a nonprofit, amazing board. And Lisa's on here. She's sat in a couple meetings. Latrice, who comes on here, she's a board member. Latrice was actually instrumental in setting culture for our board.
Wow.
I went through a transition with the board for the nonprofit. I had my founding board,
Right.
which was a great group of guys.
Right.
And at times, this group of guys, we had great relationship, great friendship, and everything else. And these were smart guys, and I was grateful to have them on my board. Without them, we wouldn't even be where we're at right now.
Gotcha.
But there are times where administrative got in the way of what I felt was getting in the way of work. Right? There's this work that we set out to do, and I was new to this world, so part of me was like, you know what? I don't want to do the administrative stuff. I just want to do the work. And we have to create opportunities to serve people. I don't care about the administrative now. I'm a little different now. There has to be a good balance there, and I understand that. But there also has to be a good culture. And I think that the way I saw the work and the way I saw the impact was different from the way they saw the work and the way they saw the impact.
Right.
And it comes just experience in life, right? As we're transitioning this board, I started thinking, you know what? I need people who can understand the business side, but they also understand the desperation of the work. There are people out here suffering. Like, our people are suffering, and we need to, be able to get out and get into people's lives and introduce new things to them so they can begin to make new decisions, because it is literally taking their life. You got people losing their life to prison, you losing their life to violence. You have neighborhoods being, tore up from the inside out. Something has to stop this. And so to me, that's always the most important thing. It's never about money, administration.
Right.
It's like, can we get into people's lives and begin to shift it from the inside out? And
Right.
so I needed a culture of a board that can see that. And so when I started shifting this board, Latrice was the bridge between the old board and the new board.
Okay.
And so she was able to see and be a part of what we're doing, and then invite other people. And I invited other people. And then we created this culture within the board where we understand the value of the work. And they even have a collective voice in that culture, because there's a place where I started going off of, no, we just need to do this. And they're saying, no, you need to elevate your voice even more. You have to do this. And collectively, they're saying this to me. Right. And I'm not I'm not a front runner. I'm not somebody who's just out there.
Right.
But I realized, yeah, I need to do this. And especially like we put this video out maybe 10 months ago, and that video got more views and everything else than any other thing we've ever done. And it was me talking.
Right.
Because as a visionary, sometimes you got to share that vision. You got to share that passion. You got to have everybody able to hear what's going on.
Right.
And I am the leader of that. So I have to own that leadership. And sometimes culture, the culture says it dictates to you also. Right. It's not only, dictating to the people who you brought on, it turns around and dictates back to you. True. So it's a good thing where it's elevating, and it's this welcoming environment where everybody has a solid voice. We all are able to be heard, no matter when you came on, no matter where you're at in the process. Everybody has a collective voice that we're heading toward a vision. Where this is our mission. Our mission is to disrupt the cycles of incarceration. Well, how are we going to do that? Well, this is one part we need to do to disrupt the cycles of incarceration. You need to start talking a little bit more. And so, it's one of those things where, you have to look at the people that are on your team, and you have to be able to trust them.
Right. I think that's a big one right there. Just being able to trust, the team that you're building. And then, like you said, making the the appropriate corrections when necessary. Because I'm drinking this coffee, guys, and it's just
your coffee's doing what my coffee's doing.
the corrections when you need to make when seasons change, because the same team that you started out with in this season, it's like, I needed this team for this season. Now that we're moving to the next level, we kind of shift it. Let me get some of these comments in. Larry says, I would tell my student staff that my goal is to teach you to perform my job confidently. Jeff was saying stuff he was saying was make good sense. He said, Jeff also said I had to build teams for a living. In the auto industry, you have 3 to 5 teams depending on the size of the store. Creating a good culture and commission environment was a tough gig. Oh, and the commission, right. Like, let's work together. I need to make these sales. So I get it. But it's important to maintain a team environment. He said, right, that makes sense. Sharing your vision can place it into others. Indeed. John says, my wife is a CFO of a nonprofit, a Fit Foundation of Independent Tomorrow. Shout out. Helps prisoners get jobs in Vegas. Interesting.
Yeah, John and I got to connect. We exchange numbers.
Right. It's like
we're here in Vegas, and
your relationship is like
we definitely got to connect.
Time more together.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. Looking forward to meet.
Yes, indeed. There's one particular salesperson that was consistent top performer his entire career. But having him on your team was a disaster. Wow. I said, I can get a Jordan on my team, but he just gonna wreck the whole team. Wow. That's interesting.
And it's interesting because you got to have a level of humility. I'll just say that. You
Right.
can be the greatest performer, but you're only as good as your team. You know,
Right.
you're only as good as being coached. There's a lot, you know. Man, I would love to sound like a Kobe too. Having Kobe on my team, Kobe is coachable. You
Right.
know, that's the thing with the right coach.
Right.
You ain't gonna just, you know,
Just tell
but
them
you
anything.
gotta,
Right.
you know, it's kind of like, okay, I'll build my team around Kobe.
Just
I will build a team around Jordan. Now, it
right.
just depends on what you're trying to get done, though.
Right.
Honestly, like you want to find the right people, the right fit, and everything else. And so, you know, I think about sports. Sports is important to team sports, I should say.
Okay.
It's important for us to see that, like, even in individual sports, there is no, you know, individual in that sport. You still have coaching. You still have people that you have to engage that are going to help you get better. When I was investing in real estate back in the days, that was the worst time of trying to create a team. I mean,
Really?
look, I legit want to have people. I'm not about the money. There's a pie out there, right? And this pie can feed many. And the way I look at it is just give me my slice. I don't, you know, whatever I agree to, just give me that slice. Don't try to take more. Don't try to encroach on my slice of my pie. Take your pie, enjoy your pie.
Right.
Or we can say cake, eat the cake, Annie Mae. But the reality is, you know, trying to create a team, especially when that team is not looking at building for the long haul, they're looking at taking care of their current situation, they will eat the seeds. And what that means is you have a seed. You're able to, you know, make a little bit of money here and there, and you have a seed now. That seed can be planted and it can produce, or that seed can be eaten. And that's what a lot of people want to take the seed before it's even in the ground and start eating it.
Right.
You know, instead of planting it, let it, you know, water it, care for it, cultivate it, and then watch it grow and feed you for, you know, the long haul.
Right.
And a lot of times you can't take the seeds in business. You can't take the seeds that the little bit of success you had up front and think that's long-term success.
Right.
Long-term success is something that you cultivate over, you know, years and time and everything else.
Right.
And so you cannot just go in and be like, you know, we made this money, good. No, this is, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to leave a legacy, or are you just trying to eat for today? Now, if you hungry and you need it for today, I ain't gonna knock you. But the reality is, have a long-term mentality.
Yeah.
Have a something, you know, there's plenty of times in everything that I've done, I would have quit. But when you have good people around you, they kind of make it hard for you to quit.
Right.
Because they really, they want to see you be successful also.
Right.
But, and also you got to have the long-term vision. It's like, you know, when do you stop? When do you quit? You know, or do you just keep it moving? And so ultimately we keep it moving.
Right.
And that's, you know, the main thing, you know, when we start thinking about what is it, still water gets all the mosquitoes, whatever. It gets all the moss, but running water is going somewhere. It does things, it shapes things. So just keep it moving.
Definitely. I think you know, that's and when you talk about like quitting, I think sometimes even pivoting is okay. You know, you're like, okay, we've been kind of hitting it this way, shifting gears, like let's pivot and maybe we'll create a better opportunity, better success in the space. But so you talked about real estate, right? You talked about building a team, doing real estate. What was like the most challenging part about building a team around? Now, these were people that were selling, or these were people that you're trying to build other houses with, or investment, like investment group or something, or
so it's investing. It was all investments. There's different ways that you can invest. There's flipping. There were different ways we went about doing this.
But you did it
I
as
started on someone's team.
Okay.
So my
Okay.
assumption is the way I am on your team is the way everybody's gonna be on my team,
My team, right,
right?
right. I did, what you put in, what you get out.
Yeah.
That's
I
low.
started on someone else's team.
Right,
I'm a hard worker. I'm a
right.
person who puts in work, and I'm not gonna do you wrong. I'm not gonna
Mm,
sit up here and try to get get over on you. You're
right,
giving me information. You gave me the
right,
information, and I'm not gonna sit here and act like I built this on my own. What I
right.
wanted to do was just make sure that um, that I learned the right way. I did everything the right way. And then when it turns
Gotcha.
around, it's like, okay, I'm going to find people just like me. I'm going to do for them what you did for me.
Right,
And you find that everybody isn't on that same level. They're not
right.
on that, I'm coming in this to learn and I'm going to grow together. So ultimately, when it comes down to how we engaged as, you engage people as a team and contractors and other people. I had this contractor I had to take to court
Wow.
because I wanted him to paint a house a certain color,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And I mean, we had great conversations up front. Like
Okay.
we share visions. Like, man, I want to see
Yeah.
your company grow.
Right.
I
Right.
want to see us be able to do this together. Like whenever I need, I want to be able to call on you. And
Right.
that's what I want to do also.
That's what's
And
up. Right.
man, I come one day and I lived out of town from this house. I come and look at this house. This
Uh-oh.
house is like a pink peach, a pink peach. I don't
Wow.
know if that makes sense. It's peach
Right.
and pink.
Right.
It's just ugly. It looks like vomit.
Wow.
Anyways, vomit with pink and peach. But and oh, we had color swatches and everything. Jeff, we
You
went
did it
out,
all right.
picked the
Right.
colors and everything. We had everything right. We made
Wow.
sure we painted little things on the house to see which
Okay.
color we wanted and
Okay.
everything. We told them how we wanted it done, what needs to
Right.
happen, and everything else. Like the wood needed to be repaired. This
Right.
fool just painted over old wood and it just looked nasty. So we had to take him to
Wow.
court.
Okay.
And he knew he was wrong because before we even went into court, he settled
Oh
outside.
wow.
Let me give you here's your money and here's
It's-
a little extra, right? I'm
right.
like, we shouldn't even have to go this far. Why go through all this mess, right?
Right. Right.
Um, and then you have people that you're really trying. There's this guy that went through my class, and you want to help people's business. And so
Okay.
when I was moving from Atlanta, I needed the inside of my house and the outside of my house painted. This fool,
Uh-oh.
he, th- you know, they didn't do a bang out job, but they didn't finish well. They
Okay.
painted enough and didn't finish well. And before you knew it, I can't get in touch with you. Can't get in touch with you, right? And if the job is too much or if you quoted it too low,
Right.
own that mess.
Right.
That's a part
Right.
of being in business because you should um you should understand like your business
Right.
aspect. Someone else shouldn't have to pay for your mistake.
Right.
So if you quote something low or if you make a
Ah,
mistake,
yeah.
own
Yeah.
it
Own it. Right.
because that ownership of it right there is what allows you to grow
Right.
and to say, I messed up right here,
Right.
but I'm going to grow and I'm going to keep moving forward. And I'm going to
Right.
make sure that as I move forward, I'm able to continue to grow. I'm able to learn from my mistakes.
Right.
But if you never own it, you'll never learn from that mistake. You will always be in a certain way that you gotta, you know, I'm always going to be in the mindset it's your fault,
Yeah.
and that's not
Yeah.
good. I paid him a portion up front, Jeff, not everything. So
Right.
that's what I did.
Wow. 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 It's crazy how, even when you share, like you said, you shared visions, you had an idea. It's like we thought we was on the same page and things, go left. It's just like
Yeah.
I thought we was rocking. We was conversating, having high fiving
But
it. All right, we
you're
got
looking
it.
to build a team.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Yeah.
looking to build a team. So even like this, Jeff says you don't take. I mean, John says you don't take the lowest bid all the time. It's not always about
Right.
the lowest bid, but it's all about like the plan, can it be
Wow.
accomplished? Because even like
Right.
when someone presents something to me, I'm assessing it whether or not this can be actually done or not.
Right.
Is
Right.
this something that you're just throwing out there as some numbers and you're just trying to get the bid, or you trying to really you thought through it, you had a process, you know?
Right.
And even for me, I kind of look at like some of these quotes and stuff back in the days, especially when I was doing real estate, and I would add a little bit to it
Right.
and say, you know, there's some things that will come up that you don't even see.
Wow.
So,
Wow. He's like, I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna throw a little
but
extra on there.
yeah, did you see what Jeff said about John?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes. That's he
stupid.
said, he said, "No, I get." He said, "Oh, he
Yeah,
said,
but when we're
that's
talking
great."
about building a team, I mean, you know, teamwork makes the dream work.
Right.
So last week when we had Auntie on, and she was talking. Matter of fact, I got my little toothbrush thing. I'll show you all tomorrow. I
Nice,
already got it.
nice,
It's here.
nice.
Y'all go order yours if you ain't got it.
Yes, definitely.
It comes with the toothbrush also.
Right, right,
So when we had her on, she was really good with all her sharing her experience with
right,
everybody. And to me, she's someone you want to work with because she ain't trying to take everything. But the problem is when she's building her team on
right.
the other side, she's genuine.
Yes.
She's like, yo, I'm genuine. I'm trying to get my my product out there. I'm trying to learn this. If you just give me, I'm gonna give you what you ask for.
Right,
But then there's people out there that take what you ask for
right,
and then move on. There's people I've had built to build websites for me or to do certain work for me.
right,
And you know, they're good with that upfront money that they get, that little 10%, 20%. They do
right.
terrible work. They spend all this time working on a website or a design. They spend hours and hours and hours work because I'm getting feedback and everything, but they don't
Okay,
finish.
okay.
So
They don't
you took this little 20%
Yeah,
and you started this and you started to grow it, and then you spent hours and hours and hours on something and didn't finish, so you don't get the final payment.
right.
It doesn't make any sense. It's like,
No,
people, if you're going to go out there and do business, do it well.
just do it. Right, right, right.
Right. You know, you got me for that little bit, right? And that's okay.
Right.
I always say this, and it's crazy. It's like people settle for less because you got over on me for this little bit. You could have got over on me so much more because I would have put you on the team. You know,
Right,
so I
right,
feel grateful that you bowed out early and showed me who you are. And
right,
so
right.
if people show you who they are in business, believe them.
Believe them. True.
Believe them.
Yeah.
They're not showing you something that's an anomaly. They're showing you who they are. And a lot of times you have to make the tough decision to say, I'm done. I'm not going to
Right,
work with you.
right.
Or even in relationships, you know,
Mm,
just think about how relationships are developed or how many people get their feelings hurt in relationships, right? And so it's one of those things where people show us who they are. Um, you know, if you talk to them enough, you'll get an understanding. If you
right,
get an understanding, you'll be able to see that, you know what, I can't do business with you. You
right.
cool and all, but I can't do
Do
business.
business. Right, 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 right. We cool. We hang out. Can.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's the challenge of business, and you know, because you want to give people a shot. You know, they come to you, they seem sincere, look
Mhm.
like they may have a work ethic, but they can't. They're not going to be able to deliver. You know what you're looking for. You know,
Yeah.
not that they can't do it, but they just can't deliver what you're looking for. And I think that's the toughest part when it comes to business and relationships, especially like dealing with small businesses, independent contractors, and things of that nature. But like you said, you know, once someone comes in the fold, it's like, all right, you are that guy or girl, you know, like and anybody say, hey, my man, they can hook you up, you know, like you got to
Yeah.
be the one I always talk about because I know because it's hard to find someone that can just do it, you know, you become the recommendation for everybody that comes to me, you know. And I think I don't know, and that's a whole nother conversation about over or underpricing where you can't finish because it's like, ooh, this is gonna cost more than I imagined, you know. But
Right.
now, like, we made a deal. Now I gotta eat the cost. I gotta eat it
Right.
because I underbidded too far, I went too low.
Or communicate.
Right? Because some people
That's it. Don't try to get shady on me. Just
right. You probably
communicate.
knew, like, I had a feeling this is gonna cost a little more than what you were charging.
Or just don't disappear. Like one day you're supposed to finish painting my house and I can't get in touch with you. I'm getting sent to voicemail and all kinds of stuff. It's like, really?
Right. Because sometimes it's not really the money, it's just the quality. Like, you did a great job. You just underbid it. You did, like you were saying when we started talking, you was like, I'm about the work, not about the administration. And when you're so much about the work and not understanding the cost of it, you get focused, you get too focused, like, oh, I guess I might have to come out of pocket because this is costing me more than I expected. Then, like you said, now it's like, now I got some balance because I realized I got to discuss this admin first before I go jumping into a new space, because I got to know how much this costs, how much time this is going to take, and what am I taking away from. So you do learn. And I think if anybody's listening, just don't disappear. Like, I get it. Yeah. You screwed up. And this thing is like, ooh, I charge you this. I need to charge you double because this is a lot more than I expected. Have the conversation like, hey, I'm going to need a little more bread to continue on, or we'll try to figure something out. I'll help if you need to get somebody else in. We'll figure it, but I can finish this. I just need more, and I'm gonna just and be real. Like, now you really can't charge an above cost. This is the cost. I'm not gonna charge you extra. I'm not gonna make a profit, but I can't afford it. Like, I don't have the money. So this is just gonna be at cost. So I'll finish it up for you. Just be honest. Don't disappear. Just be honest. Because it's the internet. Now we can make reviews. No one wants a bad review.
No one wants a bad review.
No one wants a bad review.
They try to block you.
Right.
One of the things I will say before we shut the conversation down is value. We got to understand value. You got to be able to value yourself. When it comes to building teams, you got to value yourself also. You got to value your work. You got to value your work ethic. What value you bringing to the table? What value you bringing to a team? If you know your value, you know your worth that you're bringing to this team, express that. Do not hold it back. A lot of times I shortchanged early on. I did it on purpose. I shortchanged my value because I needed the opportunity.
Right.
And sometimes that's what you're looking at. There's this cost. I have this cost. I'm going to shortchange my value a little bit to get this opportunity, which will then in the long term pay me back. Right. And so sometimes you got to shortchange yourself, but you got to still always know your value, know why you're doing it. What's your opportunity cost here? If I give you a break and a discount here, what's the opportunity cost for the future? There's a reason why I'm going to give you a discount. I'm not going to give you a discount just because I like you. Right. No, it's a strategic move. Yeah. You got to be strategic in your moves that you're making, in the way you're going to engage whatever it is you do across the board. When it's, I wrote the curriculum Rethink Life. No one knows who Rethink Life is. Now they do.
Right.
Now there's thousands of people who've been taught through this curriculum who are like, oh, wow. And the reason why I needed to discount the opportunity is because no one knows the curriculum. I'm not a scholar. I wrote a curriculum based upon what I see from life, from people. And so when I wrote this curriculum, it was something that I know this is what's going to work, because the person has to be the most important part of the process.
Right.
And I know it. I just need the opportunity. And door shut here, door shut here, door shut here, door shut here. And one day I got an opportunity. And when I got that opportunity, I started thinking to myself, you know what? Don't let money be the reason why I blow this opportunity.
Right.
Let it be about me making a move that will, in the long term, create opportunities, create feedback, and create all this evidence, and that's what was necessary. And so now it continues on. I wrote this curriculum 12 years ago, and here it is, like, unbelievable. First 3.5 years of teaching this curriculum, I had 6 people.
Wow.
Since 2014, I've taught over 3,000 people. you
Nice.
know.
Nice.
And
Congratulations.
it's one of those things where you just got to do it, you know, these things, but you got to understand the value of what you have, the opportunity cost. If I'm going to give discounts here or whatever it may be, and then whatever that opportunity cost is going to lead to for your future endeavors.
Right.
And so I want, you know, people, when you're developing your team, when you're developing anything, you got to know your value also.
Right.
Because if you don't know your value, then don't overthink your value. I'll go back to the Lakers here in a second also.
Right.
But you got to appropriately assess your value.
Right.
In order to appropriately assess your value, you have to let other people tell you what your value is sometimes.
Right.
I know a lot of people are like, wait a minute. People can't tell me my value. But sometimes people can point out to you things that you're not able to see because you think too high of yourself or too low. You know, you want to be appropriate. So go around, ask multiple people, you know, that are around you. Allow them to say things to you.
Right.
And if you hear something enough, then you realize maybe that is me. Maybe that's something I have to really look deep inside of so I could see appropriately value myself, because I'm undervaluing myself right now.
Right.
Or maybe you're too high. You think you're up here. You think you're, you know, Russell Westbrook,
Right.
you know, Lakers, Russell Westbrook. He's saying, you know, I've done all these things in my life and this is where I'm at.
Right.
But on this team, you're not. And sometimes you got to be able to say, you know what, on this team, this is the way my skills fit the best.
Right. Right.
Now, if I have my own team, if I'm doing my other things, you know, fine. But if you want to be a solo act, be a solo act.
Right.
There's a saying, and everybody's probably heard it, and I can't. If you want to go something short or something like that, go by yourself. But if you want to go far, go with the team or go together.
Totally.
I'm killing it.
I'm trying to think of it too, but
you guys look it up. Just look it up.
Yeah.
But
so I know somebody knows it. Right.
You have to understand, like, opportunity costs. You got to have a what I like to say is a battle plan. You know, you got to have a plan of how I'm going to engage, how I'm going to have longevity in this and move it forward. Now, again, things change. You know, you could start off one way, life happens. You know, the reason why I'm out of real estate investing is because something changed. Right. And when it changed, I didn't anticipate that change. Right. Things happen like that. Thank you.
There you go.
If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Thank you. See, that's why I rock with you, Lisa.
Right. Lisa's the best. Lisa is the best. Yeah, man, that's good. It said the saying is when you're short and bump, have your team do it. I can't with you, Jeff. So Jeff says, he said, I have absolutely the best painter I've ever found in my entire life. My first sign was he pounded every nail in my siding dirt that took 3 hours, that he covered them with chalk. Then he dug out all the chalking around the window and replaced it. Literally 3 days with 2 guys, prep work.
So that's the kind of work you want to see. Someone who's just like really sincere and really excellent about their work. Excellence goes a long way. And by the way, Jeff, I wish I lived in I had, you know, the need in Oregon, because that's where you're at.
Right.
But you know, again, excellence. When you start to look at excellence, do not pivot on excellence.
Right.
And because a lot of times when you're starting to look at excellence and the way it looks, you want a team of excellent people around you.
Right.
When someone does something that's not excellent, it's easier to see. When you have a standard of excellence, when you have a culture of excellence, when you have and you can actually see it.
Yeah.
And then you have to have people who are willing to own it when they're not being excellent. There's times like I know in my own work, I'm like, dang, I done dropped the ball right here. Right. I did that. Now what am I going to do about it? Am I going to sit there and look at the ball that I dropped, or I'm going to pick it back up and try to do better next time? Right. Excellence. That's what excellence is all about. It's not about being perfect. It's about, can I continue at a high standard? Right. You know, a lot of times working with formerly incarcerated people, I go around a lot of different organizations, and the way they engage these individuals is the person, and I'm not talking about who they are, it's just the way they respond, the way they act in life is kind of a lower stage. So they bring their stage all the way down to where they're at. For
Right.
me, it's like you all are trying to get to another level in life. You're trying to own property, you're trying to own businesses, you're trying to do all these other things. So I'm going to keep the standard of excellence up here, and I want you to come up here with me.
Right.
Not saying I'm better than you. See, that's the other part. You know, we feel insecure about saying certain things, but I'm not better than anybody. I'm just better than that.
Right.
There's an
That's
excellent
good.
standard that I have. There's this idea of what the way I look at it. And I know from being where you're at, you really want to get up here. Not saying that I've arrived, because I got so much more to grow in and so much more to learn in, but I've learned some things,
Right.
kind of like Auntie.
Right.
I haven't arrived.
Right.
I know how hard it was for me to get here, but I'm willing to give this back to you
Right.
if you're willing to work through excellence, because I will help you circumvent a lot of the heartache that I have to go through
Right.
in order to get to where I'm at. I can get you here faster.
Definitely.
And so, but the standard is excellence. You got to be willing to put the time in, willing to put the effort in, willing to trust the process.
Right.
So many other things, and then build. And as you're building, people get to see that you're actually building. They don't see that you're talking. They see you're building. They see you're engaging. They say that you're a person of your word. You know, you're disciplined. You've made changes in your life. You're growing and you're maturing. Those things are evident. They're not just things that we talk about. They're things we can actually see.
Right.
And so that's the standard to me, is helping people get to that level, to get to that engagement, so that the resources that you receive on the way are catapulting you forward.
Moving,
they're not just things that you see and you're like, okay, you know, I got this, and now I need more help, and now I need more help. And now, no, these things, the resources you get now help catapult you to next level.
Definitely. All right, you got a lot today.
Yeah,
we're gonna have a quiz tomorrow. That's right. You can literally see excellence. Yes, indeed. But yeah, you know, and that's a big thing too. You're saying about the resources, utilizing the resources that you receive, utilize the resources you have at hand. Yes, there's probably like, I need such and such to help me, but take what you have and make the best of what you have in front of you. You know, don't get hung up on what you don't have, because we could do that, especially like in business. You just like, man, if I had such and such, I can go to the next level. You know, take what you have and stretch it out, utilize it, and make the most of what's in front of you. Plan for the best, but just work with what's in front of you. He said, John says, good talk today. Thanks. See you guys all next week. Yes, indeed. Be good. Hey, we're here tomorrow. Come in. Tomorrow. We're here tomorrow. We got one more day. Freestyle Friday.
So there's something I noticed though.
What's that?
Your boy be talking, because I think I'm the only show that you just go live. No introduction needed. We're just going live.
We just go live. There's no formal. This is conversation. We just bust up in there. Like, it's funny. I want the structured, unstructured. Because sometimes when things are too structured, it's like, okay, stop. That's great conversation. I need to do the spiel, and you know, other than when we get sponsors, I'm like, hold on, got to pay some bills. You know, other than that, you know, I'd rather just keep it and let it flow. How come?
So Jeff, I'm the same way. I can't see John's comments either on Facebook.
Really?
So yeah, for some reason his comments are popping up on here, but not popping up on Facebook.
No, well, John looks like he's under you, Thomas. He's under your.
Oh, got you.
Because the way that, if you look at the
way it's set up,
you see the sign. You can see like a little paperclip thing. Well, we can see it. Like for you, you can see a little paperclip. Yeah, that's why
they can't see it.
That's why they're not seeing it. Yeah, John.
Got you.
He's on a different page, Jeff. He's in Facebook, but on a different page.
Right.
You know, lovely parts.
So the way this is shared is, I'm just kidding.
Right. Let's break it down.
But I think that, you know, if there's a final word that I want to say about building a team, you can't do anything by yourself.
Right.
I'm going to say that. And when I say anything, I really mean anything. I mean, you could do stuff by yourself, but you're not going to go to the places you dream of.
Yes, Jeff.
the ideas that you have in your head are there for a reason. And so you can take those ideas and you can build on them.
Right.
But don't let ideas continue to come into your head, leave, come into your head,
Right.
leave. Sometimes you got to stop and focus on one.
Right.
And then if you don't have resources, you don't know how you're going to get to this next level. Take it one step at a time. October 15th, 2010, I'm sitting out having a conversation with my best friend about how I hate watching people come into jails and leave and then be back a week later. And he asked me what I'm going to do about it. And I said, man, I'm going to start a nonprofit that's going to do this, and this. He said, so what are you waiting for? I said, man, I don't know how to run a nonprofit. I don't have no money. I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't have this. And I just went on and on and on and on about it. And he said, so what are you waiting for? That was his response to that. He asked me the same question twice.
Right.
Instead of going, fool, didn't you just hear what I said?
Right.
He was asking me, what are you waiting for? Like, so what? You don't have what you don't have.
Right. You don't have what you don't have. Go ahead.
But you're going to have to find it anyways. If you want to do this, you got to find it.
Right.
Literally less than 90 days later from that conversation, I have a letter from the IRS saying, you've been approved for a 501c3.
Nice.
I literally go, yeah. Now what? Because I still don't know what I don't know.
Right.
I got through that first part of getting the 501c3, in which most people were like, how did you get that less than 90 days? Right. That's unheard of. I don't know, but I'm going to keep walking.
Right.
And all the resources that I needed did not come from inside of me.
Okay.
The resources that I needed came from the team around me and the people that I surrounded myself with and the people that I engaged, the people I let tell me to do things because I didn't know what I didn't know. But putting people in my life who did know or knew a piece of it and listening to them and just doing what they tell me to do, we're here.
Right.
And I'm still learning because I'm the guy who just don't know this part of business. And I'm learning all these things that I needed to learn to really get this nonprofit moving and everything else and sustainable and all these other things. And so we just got to realize that we don't know what we don't know, but everything that we do know, we learned, and everything we want to know, we can still learn.
Right.
So I'm gonna just throw that out there.
That's good. Let that marinate. He said, Larry Banks says, well, a quote that hit me this morning was, put yourself out the only way something would happen. Yes. Like, y'all see this, and my numbers aren't like huge, numbers, but the number of people I've met through this platform has been incredible. The number of contacts I've had, the number of things I've learned just through this platform, just being out here, has changed tremendously. So I am definitely of a put yourself out there. Just put yourself out there. Just start. Like like you said, get rid of the roadblocks. Just start. Just like, okay, I'm gonna do this. Like I'm gonna start here. And I was writing down, turn your idea into a vision, create a goal, and create a culture. Just work it out and rethink life. Thomas got gives you the whole plan step by step. He has a curriculum, and definitely me and him gonna really connect on bringing that to you guys and building this thing out. Because it's life changing. It's life changing. We all need the tools to make life better. All right. So we appreciate you guys for hanging with us. Jeff said, "Ooh, good nuggets, gold nuggets right there." Thomas dropping nuggets today. Said the people we surround ourselves with are key to either failure or success. True indeed. And you just be mindful of people around you. That's all. Like, I'm not about the cutoff. We always talk about not really being about the cutoff, but just people you're consistently around, who's in your ear, who you share your ideas with. Because there's always people like, that'll never work. And Thomas could have been talking to the wrong person. You know what it takes to start a nonprofit? And and y'all could have been in agreement, like, yeah, let's take this, it's gonna take this, it's gonna take this, and he would have never went anywhere with it.
Never. That ends the conversation right there.
Right. Like, yep. Now and continue to watch TV, like,
And
I can't
neither
stand
one of
standing
us
out
would
of
be none the
judge.
wiser. Of
Right.
it. We wouldn't even know. It's
Right.
like
Never.
few words and allowing people to tell you something
Yeah.
and changing and shifting your perspective. Someone tells you something twice, it doesn't mean think about it the same exact way.
Right.
Maybe you need to shift a perspective just a little bit just to see, okay, what are you really trying to say?
Right.
Oh, you know, and
Right.
and move on. And
Wow.
and that's what happened.
That's good. That's good. All right, we're gonna get out of here. See you guys tomorrow, Freestyle Friday. We got a lot to conversate about. Your boy was on CNN. We'll talk about that. See if Kadeem can come through. We can fuss about that. All right. So be blessed, keep pushing, keep growing. Know that we love you. Jesus loves you better. If you or someone you love is having a mental health crisis, make sure you dial 988. 988 is not only someone coming out to assist, but it's actually someone, a licensed professional on the phone. So dial 988. All right. So just stay positive. Get started. No more excuses. Larry, we got to get our workout plan going. We're gonna kick this thing into gear. I'm actually do some working out today. And we'll see the progress. I'll put my weight out there once I get more consistent, because then I'm gonna call myself out. I'm gonna let y'all hold me accountable. Hold me accountable. All right. It said 933 for the easy payment plan. Poor Kadeem. I know he's probably like, I should have never shared that. All right. You guys be blessed. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.